we each have a business. We each have systems and processes that makes, A through Z function. And is our business set up in a way where we can handle the volume or handle the leads that come in?
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
What's going on, everyone? You are actually tuned into a live recording here on the Flip Empire show. I got my boy, Mr. Pozo. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, man? From coast to coast, man. It's good to talk to you from California to Florida, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm doing well. And it's funny you say that because you moved to California less than 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's actually we're going on 3 years, so time really flies by. Wow. Feels like 2020 was just kind of a weird year, right? So everybody's a little bit blurred about it, but yeah, man, it's been 3 years. I moved from your stomping ground, South Florida, over here to SoCal. So I switched states, but I'm still in the south of them.
Well, man, I love to see you and your family living the life, putting the I think it's like an RV camper on the beach and just living life and taking advantage, man. So I love to see that. I want to kind of transition the conversation now to marketing and lead gen and data and how to get more deals, because obviously when I think of PropStream, you're the first person I think of. And I don't know anybody that knows the system better than you. And it's a tool and it's a system that has kind of taken our industry by storm, because you guys have made it all very, very easy and streamlined. So how do we generate more high quality leads?
Right.
How do we convert those leads into appointments, into deals? And give us the macro, what are your thoughts on just marketing now in 2021 for real estate investors? What are you seeing big picture? And then we can start to kind of drive in, tool into how PropStream can really help us.
Right. Well, marketing being the lifeline of what we do, essentially as a wholesale business, we're a marketing business, right? We need to generate leads, and there's multiple channels. And those of us that have been in the business long enough know that, these channels, some of them get hot, some of them get cold, right. But there's always a cycle of marketing channels that are the thing in the moment. What I've seen over the last couple of years, we've seen the evolution of texting, outbound texting marketing. That's been very hot. But as we see, as more people come into a certain channel, it starts to change, right? Conversion rates aren't the same. The cost per leads, those adjust. So we've seen over the end of 2020 that start to be affected a bit. I think also because the carriers out there have started to get a little bit wiser. Not to say it's not a great channel, because it absolutely is, but the dynamics of the channels do change. Yeah. With that said, you have your stable direct mail, but that too has a cycle. And in different markets, of course, will respond differently, but there'll be periods of years where direct mail might be more effective. It's just a natural balance of marketing out there. And as marketers, right, we need to get into these various different channels and test them out. Figure out what works for us, not necessarily what's working, but what works for us, right? Correct. Because we each have a business. We each have systems and processes that makes, A through Z function. And is our business set up in a way where we can handle the volume or handle the leads that come in? A lot of times that I've seen, over the years, or investors that get in, they get leads, they spend money on leads, they make their first drop or their first contact, whatever response comes out, maybe they get a deal, maybe not, maybe it generates a handful of leads, but there is an additional follow-up, right? So, the old thing we always say, follow up isn't the gold. I mean, that's never been more true. So that's super important, regardless of the marketing channel that you're in. So if you're texting, continue your follow-up. People are gonna always ask, how many times? Well, depends on who you speak to, right? Just hit them until they tell you no, or they hit you back, right? So that's the deal for us. I want to contact anybody that has some interest in selling either now or possibly in the future. Let your marketing system, let your follow-up system kind of do the work. If it's not, build that up, because that's really essential. Right now we get deals done that are a year and a half, 2 years in our CRM. It's been sitting there. Our lead manager just follows up with all these leads, and eventually they're going to go. My thought on that is, if at some point somebody's kind of kicking around the idea of selling, very cold lead, but it's in their head, right? Mm-hmm. As that time, and as we know, years really start to fly by, that if you're consistent on your follow-up, before you know it, a year, 2, 3 years pass by, and maybe that person that's had that little seed of selling has evolved into this giant, pressure on them, right? I want to be there as soon as they're ready to make that decision. We've had people that tell us, listen, you guys are the most persistent and the friendliest people we've ever spoken to, right? Follow-up is one thing, but also having a good, good level of communication and how that's interpreted by who you speak to. People leave reviews and people are always complaining about everybody these days. So if you can reach out and be extremely nice, right? That's our thing in our business. Be the nice guys. Leave that memory behind of that nice conversation, nice moment, nice experience, right? So that's our mission. So we just keep following up, keep touching on all these leads that we generate, and then just keep working them, man, until you get these deals done. As far as lists and really kind of niching that down, again, it goes back to what is your business currently doing right now, and what can it handle? If you deploy, I don't know, 50,000 leads. I'm just throwing out a number. If you deploy either texting or mail and you get a ton of responses, can you handle it? Are you calling people back? Are you letting it go to voicemail? Are you fumbling that? Those little parts right there, and perfecting that sort of stuff so you can have immediate response makes a huge difference. And those are the kinds of things that you have to be aware of as you kind of refine your business so that there is no bumpy period. There is less stress, right? There's
less stress. Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, no, and it's all about being very intentional about how you scale your marketing, right? If you and I are in a little rowboat, dude, as funny as that may appear in some people's minds, and we grab buckets and we start throwing it into the rowboat, that's the equivalent of at some point, if we're not able to if the boat's not big enough and it just takes on too much water, it's going to capsize. It's going to tip over. Hope you enjoyed that episode. But before you go, I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me wanting to learn more about Ascend, wanting to understand how the mastermind component works, how the coaching relationship works. And so right now we're actually on a waiting list. But what I would encourage you to do is if you think you're the right fit and you think you can benefit from being a part of our community, head over to ascendyoursuccess.com, watch the short video, and then just click the apply to join button below. And then we'll be in contact with you if and when a spot opens up. So really appreciate you listening to Flip Empire here, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next show. Take care.